All you nations, man, you're going to get it. You're going to bow down. You're going to bow down.
Shalom. Kol Holo Yahweh Ba'ashum Yahushai Ba'ashum Rakach Wadash. The bonds of the apostles, the bonds of the elders, a great millstone, Uruel, and taught me this truth. Much respect to you brothers out there to preach this word and truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of earth. Tabernacle David that's being risen up right before your very eyes, the hopeful elect, the speckled bird, scattered abroad that's going to come in looking like the other nations, but the Spirit bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of power, right? To the women, men, and children that's listening and learning as well, to you I say shalom. Let's get into this lesson, right? As you see right here, brothers have already posted up and or done a lesson on this, but this is a great reason why Jeremiah 16 and verse 16 is written, right? Esau Edom is described in the scriptures as a great hunter, a cunning hunter, right? And so as you see right here, right, Epstein emails expose disturbing parties for hunting black people, Jake. All right, once again, Jake, when we say Jake, short for Jacob, right? And Jacob, the true Israelites, consist of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, not people scattered abroad, right? Once again, as I said earlier in the intro, the Spirit is going to bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of power, right? So you're going to have a lot of our people that's going to come in looking like the other nations, but through their lineage on their father's side, they're Israelites, right? And a lot of them, you know, they'll end up hearing the word and they take heed to it. And a lot of times, you know, you'll see what appears to be another person of another nation, and you see that they have that salt on them. Well, there's a high probability that that individual is an Israelite. But getting back to the main point of this lesson, right? We see why recompense must happen. Scriptures speak of Esau Edom hunting us, hunting our steps, you know, as a roaring lion, right? This is the way of Esau Edom, but you have these cats up here, right? TGC Ministries, right? Was once Sakari, which was once Genesis, right? Now it's TGC Ministries, bugged out. And you got individuals like this to spread confusion. We're going to get some scripture and we're going to play that video real quick, right? 2 Timothy 3, verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of power and is profitable. What for? For doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. That what? That the man of power may be perfect, duly furnished unto all good works. And if you're listening to cats like this, you're not going to be thoroughly furnished. You're going to be confused. You're going to be confused. Matter of fact, an individual right here, Luke chapter 1 tells us exactly what salvation means. Let's see. Gentiles can take hold of the covenant to enter into the kingdom, but there is nothing they need to be saved. Sinning. This person bugged out. Like I said, if you taking heed to these niggas, man, you're going to be confused. Let me see. It says that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hands of all that hate us. Exactly. That is true salvation, right? That is true salvation. But the other crap of the Gentiles being saved, hell no, right? They're going to get the law and correction when we are in our kingdom, right? Maybe that's what this person was going in about. If so, a salakia, right? But if you're taking heed and listening to this person and thinking that thinking that what Deacon is saying, hey, you better get it. Hey, it says Yah. So yeah, this person confused, right? Let me see. After Israel came out of Egypt, Moses said it's supposed to be Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahusha, not Yah, right? My song, he has become my salvation. So salvation. Let's see. I'm just reading this person question. Comment. So salvation is not originally about dying and going to heaven. Salvation is about Israel being delivered from slavery. Yep, that part is correct, right? Delivered from slavery. The other nations, they're in their kingdom. The other nations do not have the curses upon them like they do the Israelites, right? So that part, they're correct. Captivity and oppression. Christianity turns salvation into a personal afterlife concept. They're right there, right? Gentiles can walk in covenant obedience? Question mark. Gentiles can attach to the Messiah of Israel? Question marks. Gentiles can take part of the kingdom, restore of, once again, it's supposed to be Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, but cannot rule. Let's see, Gentiles can take part of the kingdom, restoration, but cannot rule along with Israel. They're going to be, and this is why, as I got in the scripture earlier, right? You need to go ahead and listen to the men of GMS. Once again, we're going to read this again. 2 Timothy 3, verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of power and is profitable. What for? For doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of power may be perfect, duly furnished unto all good works. Right? The true doctrine. And you're going to get that true correction. Right? And if the spirit's dealing with you, you're going to look at a man like this as spilling this madness, as you see right here. Gentiles can be saved, prove me wrong, live debates, right? This is all bread and circus, a debate show, right? If the spirit's dealing with you, you're going to see that and you're not going to take heed to it, man. So the nations are going to be ruled under, matter of fact, we'll get it, with a rod of iron, right? With a rod of iron. Matter of fact, we'll get the one in, what's that, Psalms 2, right? We're going to get the one in Psalms 2, right? Psalms 2 and verse 6. Yeah, I've set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree the Lord has sent unto me. Thou art my son, this day I have begotten thee. Right? Yahweh, right? Which is the Father. Once again, it's not Yah, it's Yahweh. Ba'ashem in the name. Yahushua is the son name. Right? So our Father Yahushua talking to our big brother Yahushua, Slakia. Our Father Yahweh talking to his son Yahushua. Right? Verse 8, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the othermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Right? So the heathen is already promised to be a possession. Right? Doesn't the scripture say the earth was made for our sake? Right? Verse 8, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thine possession. Check this, verse 9, that thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. So we're going to rule over them with a rod of iron. The heathens are going to get that correction, whether they like it or not. But they're going to see that our ways is prosperous. But Esau, Edom, Obadiah. Matter of fact, before I get Obadiah, let's get Revelation to back this up. Revelation 2 and verse 25, right? Let's highlight these. Revelation 2 and verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast to our come. This truth, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Keep it. Do not depart from it. Do not be like an individual as this. You had the truth, but even with the truth, just me speaking as a man, as Al-Azhar would say, he didn't change. He still had that nigga spirit on him, So cats like this, they got that. They still had that. They didn't truly change, man. Or just having it plain and simple, right? It was in the Lord's movie to bug these niggas out, right? And these niggas have waxed worse and worse. Reprobate silver, right? Silver that just, even though you put it in the fire, you're trying to refine it, it still has those impurities in it. So you just get rid of it. So these niggas just, they've been reprobate silver and they just waxing worse and worse. And you don't want to be moving in their type of spirit, right? Verse 26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. You see, the nations are not going to have salvation. We're going to have salvation. We're going to be ruling, right? Matter of fact, verse 27, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as a vessel of the potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father, right? So we're going to be joint heirs with our big brother Yahushua, and the heathens are going to be our possession as well. And they're going to get that mass correction, right? They're going to get jacked up, right? They're going to have to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? It's just that they're not going to be perfect. They're still going to have these earthly bodies. They're still going to die and decay, right? But we're going to live forever. We're going to have those new bodies. That's what's in store for us. The uttermost reign and rule over the whole earth and other planets. That's what's in store for us. But Esau, Edom, let's get that about him. Obadiah, y'all know where I'm going, right? It's like, I think I passed it. Obadiah 1. Let's get this. Matter of fact, Obadiah 1 and verse 15. For the day of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. Didn't we just, it's like it over here, right? They out here hunting our people. See, Jake doesn't realize, us out there on the highways and byways, it's actually real true love for you, Jakes, man. We want to see our people in a better position. We want to see our people reigning and ruling, right? So we're hastening the day of the Lord to come. You see, you got our people literally out here still in slavery, right? They may not put it in the mainstream media or anything like that, but you still have people still in slavery to this day. You still have people being hunted like dogs out here, man. Our people are still being hunted down. And matter of fact, this is just a prelude to what's going to happen in Jacob's trouble, right? Y'all niggas think y'all got it easy now. It's really going to get crazy and ugly out here. Y'all really going to be hunted down. And this also shows you why we need that spiritual power, right? When the enemy comes in like the flood, right? The Lord's going to lift up that standard, right? Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. They're going to see you with that power and going to be wishing that they took heed, man, right? When they getting hunted down like that, man, right? Hey, we want to see our people in a better position. Hearing this stuff, hey, that pisses us off, man. That pisses us off, man, right? So we see why Jeremiah 16 and verse 16, which we're going to get in a second, why that must be implemented, right? Why it is going to happen. Verse 16, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down. They shall be as though they have not been. Your kingdom ain't going to be remembered. Your kingdom ain't going to be praised. Because right now you have your kingdom. You living good. You living lavish, man. These other nations come into America and already getting loans, and they already set up above Jake. So what you need salvation for, man? Verse 17, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. There shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. You see? This ain't salvation for the heathens. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. You see? So the Israelites are going to be the fire. Esau, Edom is going to be stubble. And they shall kindle in them, devour them, and there shall not be any remainder of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. Right? The Lord has spoken it. Why? Because the Lord deals with balance. You're going to have one people that's going to live forever, have those new bodies live forever, and you have another people, right, that's done so much wickedness, man. So much wickedness. This is just a small amount. What's coming out in these documents? It's just a small amount to all the evilness and wickedness that they have done, still to this very day, behind the scenes, right? So these people have to pay for it, and so they're going to be stubble. And it says there is not going to be any remainder of the house of Esau. So after your slavery, you're going to be done away with. And I believe many people have asked them the question about Obadiah 1 and verse 18. What about that? That is a future prophecy. Look, very informative and often entertaining. You see, Jake is looking at this thing for entertainment's sake, right? We're not out here to entertain you. We're out here to feed you with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? So this person, reading what they got, they got some of it right. They got some of it right. But hey, the water Yahweh Shem Shah for this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Let's get back to this lesson right here, right? Let's get this Romans 1 and 28. And even as they did not like to retain power in their knowledge, power gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, right? You got the head of Sakari allegedly doing some things and that a man shouldn't be doing, especially a man within his truth, right? Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, controversialness, malice, full of envy, murder. Check this debate. You see what the title say? Gentiles can be saved. Prove me wrong. Live debate. It's all about debate with these individuals, right? They're going back to their old ways, man. They rent. The rent is due. The rent is due. All right. The rent is due. So They gotta keep up the bread and circus, right? Debate, deceit, um, malgenity, whispers, backbiters, haters of power, despiteful, proud boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, right? These men came under the tutelage of the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, right? They came under GMS. And now they're like, those ain't my elders. They disrespect their elders. You know, you disrespecting your parents. They gave you this wisdom and knowledge and understanding, and now you boasting and acting like, you got it yourself. Titus 3 and verse 9, avoid foolish questions and genealogies, contentions, striving about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. Right? You're doing all this debate. You're dealing with these foolish questions, man. 2 Timothy 2 and verse 23. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid them. Why? Knowing that they do gender strifes. You see? The truth is the truth. And you stand on the truth and you perceive that there is no knowledge in this person. This individual is just going on. Either tell them to kick rocks or you move, right? In the New International Version, right? Don't have anything to do with foolish and stupid arguments. This is a foolish and stupid argument, especially, right? You see the spirit of the Edomite, how they're moving. And those of us within this truth, we understand that other nations have judgment pronounced upon them, especially Esau, Edom. Hey, matter of fact, as I went into the other day about Moab and Ammon hating us, right? They had that perpetual slack. They have came together, Psalms 83. They have came together. Here it is, all the other nations, they don't like each other, but they came together with one consent to go against us, right? Let's see, where was I at? NLT. Again, I say don't get involved in foolish, ignorant arguments that only start fights. It's a waste of time. The Berean Standard Bible, right? But reject foolish and ignorant speculations, for you know that it breeds quarreling, right? It's a waste of time, man. Let's get this. Second Thessalonians 1 and verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with power to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Right? They troubling our people still to this very day. They hunting our people down. They're literally having hunting parties for our people. Yeah, they have to pay for that, man. They have to pay for that. Right? New International Version. Power is just. You see? The Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, is just, right? A false balance is abomination unto Yahweh thy power, but a just weight is his delight. Proverbs 11 and 1, just roughly paraphrasing, right? He will pay back trouble to those who trouble you, right? And this is just a small showing, right? They did this on a little island. Babylon the Great is about to be a whole war zone. You Jake's about to be hunted. But as I said earlier, the Lord's going to lift up that standard for us, man. All right? He's going to lift up that standard for us. And here's the main meat and potatoes of this lesson, right? Jeremiah 16 verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishes, saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, and they shall fish them. So right now, us on the highways and byways, we are fishing. We are fishing. And after, I will send for many hunters, And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. So just as they hunted our people, it's going to be 1,000 times worse. Because what are you going to do with 144 men, 144,000 men with spiritual power that's able to do every superpower and more in the book, man? Our big brother Yahweh Shai, the host of angels, what are you going to do with that? So yeah, as we just read in 2 Thessalonians 1 and verse 6, the Lord is just. He's going to pay back. So you hunted us, you're going to be hunted. The cunning hunter is going to be hunted. Just as there's many stories of Esau Edom out there in the plains of Africa or wherever, and he ends up getting hunted down. I believe there was a woman years ago. I believe she was out there hunting. She probably killed an elephant or so, or killed one of the elephant's kin. And that elephant came through and stomped her ass, man. All right. And then at the funeral, found it again and stomped that stomped that dead body, man. You know, and that's just with a animal. Once again, imagine the power that the Lord is going to give unto us, man. You're going to get, man, tribulation is going to be brought unto you, right? We going to have spirit. You're going to die and be brought back to just to die again and just to be rounded up and thrown into shackles and chains and work out there in the fields, man. Yeah, Esau, he about to feel that, man. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah. They shall fish them. And after, I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks, right? So that is coming, right? For the sake of time, I'm going to end it right there. But yeah, that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of this lesson, man. They hunted us, right? They're going to be hunted. And you niggas out there that's trying to save them, hold hands with them, you're going to be thrust through too.